If you're new to the channel, make sure you guys click the subscribe button. There's gonna be more fire content on the way.
Taylor, better known as Lil Reese, is in critical condition this hour at Advocate Christ Medical Center with a gunshot wound in the neck.
3 people were shot on the near north side this morning. One of them, rapper Lil Reese.
Someone injured. We're following blood. Okay, they're following blood in the parking garage right now, going up the down ramp.
What up, gang? Back with the real. You know what's the deal. Today, we're gonna tell a tale of the mythical creature, the Chiraq savage who feeds on the souls of his ops, the man that beats death because he is death. I'm talking about the one and only Chiraq Grim Reaper, the invincible Lil Reese. The only man who sets the timer on an op's life by mentioning them in a tweet. The man who gets shot in the neck, still gets out the car, and saves himself. This man who lost his voice, got it back, and now may be blind in one eye after coming in contact with a bullet.
He's
Reese
not blind though, he said he wasn't
legend
blind.
that has earned his name as the Grim Reaper. Today, we're gonna learn why he's so feared and how he continues to cheat death with impossible odds against him. Lil Reese came up in the South Side Chicago at the infamous Calumet Projects in the Calumet buildings opposite to O Block, where his father was from.
You were originally from Calumet Projects?
Calumet.
Calumet Project.
Calumet, yeah, that's the project. 62nd.
He would move to Lamron 300 area, where his mother's from, and where he's been since.
Well, I moved over there on 300.
Okay.
Yeah, like that's where my mama from. My mama from 300, and my daddy, he from the Calumet building, the projects right there, back O Block. So,
Yo, Jeremiah, appreciate it so
The
much.
street is home to many popular Chicago rappers, as we soon see, and his name comes from original street name, Normal, spelled backwards. Reese was respected in the streets from a young age, given his affiliations to the Black Disciples. It's a cycle that passes on the mentality from one generation to the next.
You shot Tuka? Say man. Shoot him again. Shoot him in his head.
No, Lon's wild for that.
Reese just happens to have been deeper in it than most, given his family's background in the streets.
So your whole family was involved in the streets?
shit, basically, I ain't gonna lie. Shit, my family stayed in the streets. That's how I grew up.
Together with his mother and father, he has upwards of 8 siblings. Reese would link up with many of the other artists that we know now from way back in the day. Chief Keef, King Von, the late Fredo Santana, all
RP.
young bangers being taught by the streets.
So we used to be walking around and shit, gang banging.
That young?
Yeah, that young. We was walking around. We ain't had nothing back then. We used to just be walking around and shit.
Was there anybody else with you guys that we
RPT Roy, word, RPT Roy. RP Fredo too, man.
I mean, shit.
No
Von used to
slides
be
in the
with us.
video after this.
Reese would drift further into the street life, being kicked out of school at the 11th grade, but it also shed a positive light on his future. He would begin his journey as a rapper.
I mean, I made it to like 11th grade, and then I had like got kicked out of school and shit. Then I just started rapping.
As early as 2010, Reese would be one of the pioneers of the drill wave, along with Keef and Lil Durk. Tracks like L's Bitch with Durk and his popular track Us had Reese climbing the ladder to the top of the music industry. But amid his new surge of popularity was also the law enforcement ready to get their hands on the Chiraq Savage. And that's exactly how it went down. In 2010, Reese would find himself in cuffs on burglary charges to which he would plead guilty and receive 2 years of probation. That would be what got Reese back focused on music, and he would go on to drop a couple bangers, including his Chief Keef assisted smash hit, Don't Like. The track took Reese to another level, and he got the attention of the big players in the industry. It would be Def Jam that would sign the Chiraq Spitter, marking the start of a new era for Reese. Reese's homie Lil Durk also happened to get a deal with Def Jam. Seemed all was going well for the kids that grew up in the streets, and Reese was appreciative to be blessed enough to make it out. Reese was blowing up faster than he could keep up, even snagging the 2 up-and-coming heavyweights, Rick Ross and Drake, for the remix of his track Us. It was almost sometimes too much for the young savage, coming from the streets to having to set schedules and keep up the business of the entertainment life. But somehow, him, Keef, and Durk made it work.
It was moving too fast for us. Like, say for instance, we just not coming from the streets and shit, and we get signed. Now we gotta do shit different. We gotta go to video shoots. We gotta be on point for this. We gotta be on time for this. We missing all that shit because we not used to this type of shit.
As he rose higher, so did the target on his back. It's not like he stepped away from the streets of Chiraq, so his ops was still lurking. One op would create the legend, the Grim Reaper, after crossing paths with Reese. Lil Jojo, a GD that was also coming up in the rap game,
RP
and
Jojo
connected in the
chat.
streets. First, he was on Durk's neck, then Chief Keef, but his mistake was going after Reese's homies and bringing up his name as well. JoJo was playing with fire and getting closer and closer to being burned, pulling up on Reese in traffic and on the street, pushing the Grim Reaper over the edge.
Oh, bitch! Yeah! What's wrong with you, boy? Hey, I am Brick Squad! Yeah, Brick Squad, boy! Talk about, boy!
Reese made him a promise, "I'ma get you," and was certain on keeping his word. JoJo would dodge death once when Reese came for him, but once the Grim Reaper sends that LOL tweet, it's curtains and trust. The rest was history. The tale of the Grim Reaper was born as Lil JoJo was no more. From then, it was as if a demon was born. DJ Academics would boost his Grim Reaper status, saying his mentions on Twitter look like an obituary because every person mentioned by Reese turns up in a body
Passed
bag.
away. That's a fact.
Reese would solidify his cryptic
I
lifestyle.
think that's back then, though. I don't think that's now. Chat, I don't think that's now, though. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Huh? What, can you think that's now?
I don't know, nigga.
Yeah, I don't. Nah, that is crazy, though, Runts. I ain't gonna lie. Like, he was just having fun, Runts.
By getting a tattoo of the Grim Reaper along his arm, making his status as death official. His notoriety in the streets was increasing alongside his music career, but being a rapper and a trapper never really mixed. The Grim Reaper would be in the hands of the law on April 28, 2013, when an officer found him sleeping in the car at 4 a.m. The officer would run his name in the system and realized he had a warrant out for his arrest for charges connected to criminal trespass and mob action and battery. This stemmed from a situation that happened in February 2012, where Reese laid the beast down on a woman that was trying to get the rapper and his band of merry gangsters from her crib. He would soon be back out on the streets after posting his $100,000 bond. Reese would later show his growth in character by issuing an apology on the situation. The victim would also give her account of the situation with some choice words for the Grim Reaper. Reese was back out and living a high life with his rising fame, but no matter how much money seemed to come his way, the habits of the hood was engraved into the Chiraq savage. Just about 2 months later, Reese would again be apprehended by the law when his purchase of a 2006 BMW 750 Li proved to be fraudulent. Cops would later arrest the rapper on a 10100 block of South Halstead on misdemeanor theft when they caught on that the documentation provided upon purchase was falsified. His bail was set at $5,000, which he quickly paid to secure his place back on the outside. Even with a bright future ahead of him, mentality was getting him caught up and costing him opportunities. But it takes a dedicated focus to break the habits of the past. Reese would continue to struggle with his success, finding himself behind bars for possession of pot and a gun charge. Somewhere between the many arrests, the Chiraq Grim Reaper lost his label deal when Def Jam dropped him. However, he would reveal the true reason in a later interview with Academics. Turns out, the Chiraq Savage fought to be off the label and not kicked out after a gun dispute in the studio with his label where he cost Def Jam upwards of $50K.
Me with Def Jam, I've been off Def Jam for like 4 years, 3.5 years.
Officially or just like?
Officially. I had another altercation over there at Def Jam that never hit the media. Nobody.
You had an altercation?
Another altercation, nigga. Crazy altercation.
According to Reese, this worked out in his favor because independently, he was making more bank than on the label and prefers the indie route.
It's the best because I made more money. Like, say basically when I was on the label, I got signed, it gave me a whole lot of money. When I was off the label, I made that same amount of money in 1 year.
For real? And you own all your shit?
And I own everything. Don't no label, don't nobody own nothing. I own all my shit.
While Reese was applying what he learned from the industry to continue success as an independent artist, the feds was eyeing the rapper, and the next arrest looked like they wanted to do the Grim Reaper in. Things would only seem to get tougher for the Chicago legend, but life would soon understand that he wasn't a pushover and only grew through what he went through. In January 2018, Reese would lose one of his childhood homies, an older cousin of Chief Keef, Fredo Santana, and it would shake up the rapper's world. The grief would make him realize just how many friends he's lost, but also inspire him to go harder for him.
Tough, you know? He took a lot of tough losses, so the nigga had to chunk it up really and just like stay focused.
But you know how it goes. The more you aim to get out, the more the streets pull you back in. A rival op, rapper Hits 079, had it out for Reese and would catch him lacking. Him and his homies would jump the Grim Reaper in what became a viral video of the altercation. Reese, being the savage he is, shook it off while still taunting his ops.
It's money for me, that's how much you gonna come up. Niggas ain't take shit till they made me shit on myself. Took money, y'all broke ass son, nigga.
And mocking one of them, on which he got his get back on, hitting him up in his leg and leaving him on crutches. His next opponent was the now A-list snitch and fake gangster 6ix9ine, who got on Reese's bad side.
Yeah, but nothing happened to 6ix9ine. Nothing ever gonna happen
along
to
with
him.
Chief Keef
Chad, y'all think something's gonna happen to 6ix9ine?
Doing a song together.
The nigga shot it. We was on the phone a week before they even got on the internet and said fuck me and all this shit. Me, Shotty, 6ix9ine, we all on the phone FaceTiming. We FaceTiming like crazy. FaceTiming me and 6ix9ine finna do a track of shit together. We finna work. So bang, when he did that, he like, when he got on the interview and said fuck me and shit, I'm like, damn, hold on. Once y'all just calling me and FaceTiming me and shit.
Things would escalate to Chief Keef being shot at and Reese stepping into the ring with his pole ready to murk 6ix9ine on sight.
Yo, you don't gotta bring niggas. You tough by yourself, right? You by yourself, right? Bro, put that shit away, cause when you shitted on yourself, you didn't pull that out.
Luckily, the entire situation with 6ix9ine turning informant went down, granting him 24/7 security detail, trying to keep him safe.
Nah, 6ix9ine sunny though, Jen. I ain't gonna lie, he's sunny.
Tabs to catch the rapper slipping, like he was secretly doing before.
We was up there at the airport, bro. I shouldn't even be talking about this shit, but we was up there at the airport. We watched the man get in the car. We let them get in the car. We let them ride out because it was police all in the car. Police all with them. We wasn't finna do nothing. We was at the airport.
While having it out with as many ops that would like to chase clout to say they took down the Grim Reaper, Reese was keeping the streets fed with bangers with projects like Get Back Gang and Get Back Gang 2. Things seem to be back on the up and up for the Chiraq Savage, but he was caught lacking by one of his ops at a Country Hills Club intersection on November 11, 2019.
Do you see that gun,
Shocking
bro?
video shows the op pull up in traffic and letting the clip go before dipping. Reese was shot in the neck with a Draco, but still had the will to get out of his car and hop in a stranger's whip behind him to be taken to the hospital.
Got out the car, like, trying to see what they at. Like, looking around, trying to see where they at. Wasn't nobody around. So I just got in the car that was behind me and just told him to take him to the hospital.
That's some real survivor instinct. The average person might have frozen up and bled out, but not the Grim Reaper. Not only did he defeat death, but he was back out the hospital in a few days with his throat sewn up. Doctors said he would lose his voice, but Reese was still out thugging on stages even if he couldn't speak. Miraculously, Reese would regain his voice after a few months. The Grim Reaper was proven.
Yo, that man is blessed by God, bro. Like, yo, you know how crazy that is to do?
The myth was real. Ops was trying, but just couldn't take out the Chiraq Savage. But in 2021, the world yet again thought they got to the Reaper after a bloody video surfaced on May 15, 2021, with Reese being held.
I've never heard one Lil Reese song. I mean, he's like a 2012 rapper, so like, you probably born in 2012, so like, it's cool.
By cops in and out of consciousness as blood leaked from his mouth and head. Reports then began flooding in that the rapper was beaten and shot and in critical condition. From the vid, many thought it was his last breath as the rapper struggled to hold on. Fans would start worrying even more after his IG page manager would post up asking for prayers for the Lamron rapper. But foolish for us to even question the Grim Reaper's immortality. Within a few days, he was already back.
Every time I feel like my back against the wall, I come out in better position.
Assuring fans he good and he not blind or dying as reports claim. While the story's still unfolding, rumors are that the rapper and or his friend stole a vehicle that they was in, and the owner and his father tracked the vehicle down via
that's some gangster shit,
tracking devices and found Reese in them. Things are still sketchy, but some reports claim Reese met up to buy the car and didn't know it was stolen. He allegedly told the cops he went to buy pot, and then officials are saying that while Reese and his homies and the owners of the car were having it out, a shooter appeared and opened fire their way.
Authorities got the call just before 10 this morning. When police got to the garage, they found 3 men ages 20, 27, and 28 shot.
One thing's for certain, Lil Reese is proven to be worthy of the name Grim Reaper. But just as it backs his immortality thus far, Grim also is the bringer of death, so ops, be warned. Reese played a pivotal part in the Chicago drill scene, and I for one want to see him and the whole Chiraq shine. Hopefully, he places more focus on music and get out of Chiraq, though it don't look like he'll ever leave the place that made him.
I feel like people who be leaving and don't come back and shit, and never come back and shit, like, I feel like they be scared. Scared of something. They gotta be scared of something to not come back. Like, what? Why you not coming back? You got kids, you got family here, you got this here, you got that here. Why you ain't coming back to your hometown? What's the problem?
Yeah.
No?